In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Beneficent. Now with today's main headlines. MP calls for ban on first cousin marriage in the UK. UN reports 16 million people in need of aid in Syria. Shia Rights Watch engages with Pakistani ambassador on behalf of Shia Muslims in Parachinar and Peshawar. Concerns rise over AI tone-shifting technology's impact on communication. Assalamu alaikum dear viewers, this is Hussein Ali and you are watching Shia Waves live from London only on Imam Hussein TV 3. A Conservative former minister, Richard Holden, has proposed a ban on first cousin marriage in the UK, citing increased risks of birth defects among their children. Speaking in Parliament, he emphasised the need to protect public health, particularly within communities with high rates of such marriages, like Irish travellers and British Pakistanis, where prevalence can reach 20 to 40%. Independent MP Iqbal Mohammed countered that a ban would be ineffective, advocating instead for educational programs to raise awareness about the associated health risks. He stressed that addressing forced marriages is crucial and suggested facilitating genetic screening and health education within affected communities. Downing Street acknowledged the health risks but stated there are no plans to change existing laws, which currently prohibit marriages between siblings, parents or children, but not between first cousins. Holden argued that first cousin marriage contradicts modern British societal values. It should be noted that Islam does not prohibit first cousin marriage, and historical records indicate such practice was seen among the Holy Household, peace be upon them, but certain narrations from the Ahlul Bayt have discouraged such unions and instead encouraged marriage outside immediate family. The United Nations has declared a humanitarian crisis in Syria, with over 16 million people requiring assistance as of December 2024. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs reported that 1 million individuals were displaced from their homes in the west and northwest between November 28 and December 8. Most of these displaced are women and children from Aleppo, Hama, Homs and Idlib. There is an urgent need for shelter, food and sanitation facilities, compounded by disrupted transportation routes and reports of looting. Aid efforts include providing food, health services and clean water. Health facilities face overwhelming demand, with major hospitals operating at limited capacity. UNHCR emphasizes the need for patience regarding refugee returns, urging international support to ensure effective responses to the ongoing crisis. Shia Rights Watch's Executive Director Mustafa Akhwand met with Pakistani Ambassador Rizwan Saeed Sheikh in Washington, D.C. to address the escalating violence against Shia Muslims in Parachinar and Peshawar. More details in the following report.
In Washington, D.C., Shia Rights Watch Executive Director Mustafa Akhwand met with Rizwan Saeed Sheikh, the Ambassador of Pakistan to the United States, to address the ongoing violence affecting Shia Muslims in Parachinar and Peshawar. During this meeting, Akhwand presented a formal letter directed to Prime Minister Mia Mohammed Shahbaz Sharif outlining critical concerns faced by the Shia community and the urgent need for protective measures. The discussion centred on the rising violence against Shia Muslims, which has led to considerable loss of life and a widespread sense of insecurity. Akhwand stressed the necessity for immediate actions including improved security measures, support programmes for victims and acknowledgement of the sectarian nature of these attacks. The ambassador listened carefully to the issues raised and recognised the seriousness. The letter from Shia Rights Watch included practical recommendations aimed at ensuring the safety and dignity of Shia communities. These suggestions encompass increasing security forces in at-risk areas, ensuring accountability through impartial investigations, reopening vital travel routes, and providing humanitarian assistance to affected families. The letter also highlighted the importance of fostering dialogue between communities to promote coexistence and mutual respect. Parachinar and Peshawar are vibrant communities that have endured ongoing challenges. The violence faced is not just a violation of human rights but also contradicts the principles of unity and diversity on which Pakistan was founded, stated Mustafa Akhwand. We urge the government to act quickly and effectively to restore peace in these regions and bring hope back to affected families. The meeting also included notable community leaders such as Fakir Naqvi and Wasim Naqvi from the Imam Ali Centre, Maulana Suleiman Hassan from Imam Al-Asr Masjid, and Haider Zaidi from the Muhammadiyya Centre. The delegation collectively emphasised the need for high-level interventions to protect vulnerable populations and called for long-term strategies to tackle the root causes of sectarian violence. In addition to engaging with the Pakistani government, Shia Rights Watch has reached out to the US administration urging it to apply diplomatic pressure on Pakistan for meaningful reforms. Shia Rights Watch remains dedicated to advocating for sustainable solutions to ensure the safety, dignity and security of Shia Muslims in Pakistan and beyond. The ambassador assured the delegation that he would communicate their concerns to key decision makers in Pakistan and pledged support for efforts aimed at restoring peace and stability in the region. This is Aruj Fatima for Shia Waves.
Let's take a look back at today's main headlines. MP calls for ban on first cousin marriage in the UK. UN reports 16 million people in need of aid in Syria. Shia Rights Watch engages with Pakistani ambassador on behalf of Shia Muslims in Parashinar and Peshawar. Also tonight, UNICEF reports progress in global birth registration. Linguists are raising concerns about the impact of AI tone-shifting technology on communication as Apple rolls out its new writing tools across UK devices. These tools, the article argues, aim to help users adjust the tone of their texts and emails, making them sound friendlier or more professional. However, experts warn that such technology risks flattening the richness and nuance of the human language. Users in the US reported that AI-generated summaries can strip emotional context from messages, reducing personal exchanges to robotic statements. Language consultant Professor Tony Thorne cautions that AI lacks the ability to capture individual writing styles and emotional nuances. Sociolinguist Professor Rob Drummond adds that reliance on AI may create an inauthentic identity in communication. Apple plans to refine its features based on user feedback, with the AI assistants available on select devices. Broader rollouts in Europe are expected in April 2025, as the debate over AI's role in language continues. And now we continue with some short news. The European Environment Agency reports significant progress in reducing air pollution, with deaths linked to fine particulate matter falling 45% since 2005. Despite this, air pollution remains the top environmental health risk in Europe, causing nearly 240,000 premature deaths in 2022 due to PM2.5 exposure above WHO guidelines. The EEA also attributes 70,000 deaths to ozone pollution and 48,000 to nitrogen dioxide exposure. Meeting WHO air quality standards could have prevented these fatalities. Air pollution also harms ecosystems, with 73% of EU ecosystems exceeding critical nitrogen loads in 2022, affecting biodiversity and agriculture. Although emissions of sulfur dioxide have declined, the EU faces challenges in meeting nitrogen reduction targets and curbing ozone-induced crop damage and economic losses. During the rule of the Ba'ath regime in Syria, thousands were subjected to torture across various centers, with the Syrian Network for Human Rights reporting at least 1.2 million detentions during the civil war. Since the uprising began in March 2011, it is feared that undocumented torture and killings may reach tens of thousands. The regime operated over 50 torture centers. Despite numerous amnesty announcements, international organizations confirm that detentions continued unabated. Reports indicate that detainees faced brutal treatment, with the regime employing 72 different torture methods, including physical, psychological, and sexual violence. In cities liberated from the regime, efforts were made to rescue prisoners, but many remain in central prisons such as Tartus and Latakia. Sednaya prison has gained infamy for holding tens of thousands of political detainees, with ongoing concerns about the fate of those unaccounted for. A recent report from the World Economic Forum warns that businesses could face a 7% reduction in annual earnings by 2035 due to escalating climate hazards. The report, published on Wednesday, December 11th, highlights that extreme heat and climate-related disasters may lead to annual asset losses ranging from $560 billion to $610 billion for listed companies. Industries such as telecommunications, utilities, and energy are particularly vulnerable, with potential disruptions akin to those seen during the COVID-19 pandemic occurring every 2 years. Energy-intensive sectors may see earnings cut by half by 2030 due to tightening global regulations and carbon pricing. The green market is projected to grow from $5 trillion this year to $14 trillion by 2030, indicating significant opportunities in alternative energy and sustainable products. A Dutch court has sentenced a woman to 10 years in prison for crimes against humanity, including enslaving a Yazidi woman in Syria while supporting the Islamic State group. The case marks the Netherlands' first prosecution for crimes against Yazidis, a religious minority targeted by IS militants in Iraq and Syria. The court imposed a harsher sentence than prosecutors requested, citing the woman's continued extremist views. Repatriated from Syria in 2022, she has been in custody since her return. The judges noted that broader atrocities against Yazidis, emphasizing the systemic nature of the crimes during IS's reign of terror. Afghan women artists are playing a crucial role in the resistance movement against Taliban abuses, using their art to challenge the ruling regime. Human Rights Watch highlighted their contributions in a new feature, emphasizing how these artists voice their beliefs with creativity, passion, and resilience. Since the Taliban's return to power in 2021, Afghan women have faced severe restrictions on education, employment, freedom of movement, and expression. Despite these challenges, women artists continue to create work that highlights the struggles and resilience of Afghan women and girls. A new UNICEF report highlights progress in global birth registration, with over 500 million children under 5 registered in the past 5 years, raising global coverage to 77%, up from 75% in 2019. Despite this progress, 150 million children remain unregistered, lacking legal recognition and access to essential rights, UNICEF confirmed in its report released on Wednesday. The report, titled The Right Start in Life, Global Levels and Trends in Birth Registration 2024 Update, also reveals that over 50 million registered children lack birth certificates, which are critical for securing nationality and accessing services like healthcare and education. While regions like Latin America and Eastern Asia boast high registration rates, Sub-Saharan Africa lags at 51%, accounting for over half the world's unregistered children. Barriers include weak policies, high costs, and discrimination. We have reached the end of today's news. Let's take a look at the main headlines for this evening. MP calls for ban on first cousin marriage in the UK. UN reports 16 million people in need of aid in Syria. Shia Rights Watch engages with Pakistani ambassador on behalf of Shia Muslims in Parashinar and Peshawar. Concerns rise over AI tone-shifting technologies' impact on communication. UNICEF reports progress in global birth registration. You can view the latest news on our website, or you can send news of your city or country to be published on our news agency. Contact us on the numbers at the bottom of your screen. Thank you all for watching. We pray to Allah the Almighty to hasten the reappearance of the Master of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
In the heart of London, Imam Hussein Media Group is on the brink of an extraordinary transformation. We are securing a new home, a sanctuary named after the Queen of Karbala, Lady Zainab Salamullahi alayha, who commemorates